Another out-of-this-world mission for Superboy, and then bringing us firmly back to Earth, the latest early morning news from ITN. And that's the look of Friday's nighttime. Right now, we launch into a new series as the comics stand up.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Film 88. And this week we're going to be looking at one of the new releases. Yes, indeed, it's Elephant Man 2. Starring John Hurt, Anthony Hopkins and Roy Hattersley. Here's a brief extract, see what you think.
OK, I want you to repeat after me. My name is John Merrick. I am the Elephant Man.
My name is John Merrick. I am the Elephant Man.
All right, that's all we've got time for today. So moving on to you, Roy. Now, what I want you to say is, my name is Roy Hattersley. I am Deputy Leader of the Labour Party.
My name is Roy Hattersley. I'm Deputy Leader of the Labour Party.
Well, I've been watching football matches for many years, and I think Bobby Robson's philosophy is that a football match isn't won. I think that's his philosophy. Now, Trevor Brooking, who do you fancy, Trevor?
Well, John, you know what my predictions are like. I mean, last time England played Albania, I predicted an earthquake. But for me, the actual result of the game is not as important as humming.
Well, sitting here, watching the match with me, is Ron Atkinson. Ron, I think one criticism that could be levelled at this stage is you're a fat bastard and know sod all about football. And that link into Brian Moore was quite blatant.
That was so close, and I really wanted that one to go in there. I so wanted that one to go in there. I had 7 years of sexual frustration just waiting to be sublimated. But Lineker knocked it over the bar. And it's all so important to me. No wonder all my hair's fallen out. And when I get home tonight, Mrs. Moore is really going to suffer in bed.
Anybody got anything they'd like a poem about? Football? OK, we'll take football. It's not much of a planet that everybody leaves. There's not a lot of faith about, but I am someone who believes that what we need without a doubt is more of Jimmy Greaves. Imagine Jimmy's picture in every picture frame. Imagine all religion praising Jimmy's name. The world is just a candle and Jimmy Greaves is the flame. Won't you give me Jimmy? The more I get of Greavesy, the more my life achieves. So give me more of Greavesy and give me more of Jimmy Greaves. It used to be his turn of speed, he left defences in a daze. Now he rents his turn of phrase, and when I turn on my TV and Jimmy's there, my spirits raise. And when I'm in a blazing row and I'm in the process of rolling up my sleeves, I just think of Greaves there. And he relieves me. More and more of Greavesy is what this country needs. He's the man to sow the seeds of sanity. He's off the booze, he's on the ball. He's got a message for us all. He can help humanity to heal itself, to haul itself from this self-destructive stupor. He's what you call a trooper. I think he's blinking super.
Before I play, I should like to talk about famine, muggings, burglary, street violence, pestilence, disease, salmonella poisoning, poll tax, police corruption, but it's not going to be all laughs. Could have just bought a Lacoste T-shirt and the little crocodile bit my nipple off. Then I got a pair of jeans, got them home, took the label off the back of the pocket, sat in the bath like the advert. My legs shrunk.
And you really join us just as Bobby Robson has taken off Lineker, replacing him with Allen. Now, it doesn't look like Clive Allen, it's... Goodness me, it's Woody Allen. You know, I'm not a physical man. I get terrible sinus problems. I really, I did, however, see a great film recently called Cry Freedom, and it was about the death in imprisonment of a great man, known to millions simply by one word, his surname, Bilko. And I really do. What was the name of that card game you wanted us to play? Was it poker? I've never played that. Is that a good card game? I've never played poker. I don't know. Is that a good game? I don't know. Is that a good game? What's going on? All right, sir, are you seriously suggesting we drop napalm on the South Vietnamese? Shame on you, sir. I don't believe it. All right, man. Gather around. I got a terrible problem here. I think somebody should have told me about it sooner. Fender, Paparelli, Tolman. Why didn't you tell me? I think I'm turning into Top Gun. Okay, Dibble, don't do this to me.
I don't go to the cinema much. I prefer staying at home and watching films. I like trying to catch these Channel 4 seasons, these foreign films on Channel 4, because they're great, you know, black and white subtitles. Trouble is, they're so depressing, aren't they? I mean, seriously, I start getting depressed about mid-afternoon. God, there's a Bergman film on tonight. Oh, no. It's only 12 hours. You start to make those silly excuses not to watch it, don't you? Like 1 week I shot myself in the foot. I really tried. I tried recording them. Came down next morning, video had broken down. In tears. One night was fatal. I forgot to cover the hamster cage one night when I was watching one of these films. Terrible. Before I realised it, there was the poor thing in its little wheel going round and round. Oh, it's all so pointless.
But the worst programme on television must be Beatles About. Ah! Yes! Yes! Come to me, my children! Let's hear it! Do we like Beatles About? No! Let's try again the Cilla-Black way. Do we like Beatles About Chucks? No! No, of course we don't. Beatles About, a bout of clap, if you ask me. It was me all the time. Oh, hello, Jeremy. Oh, what a surprise. Or Antiques Roadshow. Oh, I can't stand Antiques Roadshow. All those greedy wee people on it. Hello there. I wonder if you could have a wee look at this vase for me. My father brought it back from a museum he looted in Nazi Germany during the war. Ho, 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 ho! Your father sounds as if he was quite a lad in his day, Mrs. Protestant. This is a very interesting vase. Ming Dynasty, that's Chinese, you know. Of course you don't know, you're Scottish. Tell me, have you ever had it valued? No! I would love to have it valued. For insurance purposes, of course.
I like those, the Technicolor epics, the American Technicolor epics from the 50s, you know. Rome, 3000 BC. All these American footballers wandering around the Nevada desert, mispronouncing Greek names. So, tell us of these new theories of yours, Archimedes. Well, it's like this, Hermesitas. You sweetie.
The other thing I'm quite keen on are old 70s American cop series, because they always have that same old relationship. The cops always have a very bad relationship with their police commissioner. It's always,
Oh, come on, Gov. All we need is 24 hours to solve this case. Look, you're off the case, okay? You're off the case. I mean it. It's over, all right? Look, all I need is 24 hours, boss. Just 24 hours and I can nail this guy. Okay, 24 hours. If you screw up, I will mean it. I'm gonna kick your ass so hard you're gonna wish you hadn't even been born with an ass.
why don't they have a helpful police commissioner? You know, he could be played by Jim Bowen or something.
We need 24 hours, boss. We just need 24 hours to get this guy. Okay, don't worry about it. Any problems? You know where my door is. Knock on the door. I'll help you out. You need 24 hours. Take a week.
Anyway, you've probably seen this act before on television. I quite often stand outside Dixon's and watch myself on a video machine. Everybody's going surfing. All the way here with a double bass for one joke. Weighs 75 pounds, gets stuck between the floor and the roof in trains, costs the price of a dog on buses. Once I've got it in the car, I can't get it out again. People laugh, throw money, shout, give us a tune. That's one hell of a banjo you've got there, mate. Met a nice bloke last week who shouted, midget with a violin. Anyway, Basie doesn't mind. Basie the double bass, you can speak up for herself in these matters. How are you feeling, Basie? Up and down, eh?
All right, fantastic and great. All right, come on, Rowley. Oh, great, I'm in prison. Oh, that's all I need. All right. All right, Sharon, darling. All right, listen, Paola. Fantastic. Oh, great. All right. Shut up. All right. All right, listen, Sharon, I love you, darling. All right, Princess. Oh, great. All right, fantastic. All right, yeah. All right, listen, Princess. Just because we adopted you doesn't mean I say I don't still want to have sex with you. All right, great. Oh, yeah, people say I'm a one-part actor. That's not true. I could have played all the great film roles. I could play the part of John Merrick in The Elephant Man. I am not an animal. I am a man. I am a human being. All right, so I don't care what the firm says. I've never grasped on no one and I never will, all right?
Talking of EastEnders, I haven't been able to take that show seriously ever since a certain person joined the show.
Well, Pat. So, babe, you're going to have to decide whether you still want to marry me now that you've met my mother, babe. Okay, babe. Yes, sweetheart, that's your decision, babe. But you're going to have to make that decision very quickly, babe. Okay, babe? Well, 5 seconds run around now.
You never thought you'd find a Formula One inspired engine in a car that cruises at a whispering 65 decibels. You never thought you'd find anti-lock brakes, catalytic converter, and cruise control in an executive car that takes you beyond convention.
Never say never.
The Accord 2-liter I from Honda.
But alas, a great loss to British comedy. Charles Hawtrey is no longer with us. When that was on the news, you know, I thought, which one was he then? I know it was a carry-on film, so which one was he? And I realised he's the skinny one with the specs in the bed at the end of the ward that kept going, Then Kenneth Williams would come in and go, Then Sid James would come in and go, blah, blah. And I thought, they just don't write comedy like that anymore, do they?
It's not that bugs me so much. It's that Eric von Daniken team that get me. Was God an astronaut? Of course he was. And Moses was a test pilot, and John the Baptist used to drive the 61 busty Crouch End. Are those lines in the Peruvian desert the remains of a prehistoric airport? No.
She's going to give you some of her favourite impressions now. Placido Domingo, completely pissed out of his head. Cow with a banger up its bum. Titanic. That was Grandad just after he was buried. Now, a couple of film impressions. Psycho. A bridge too far. And now, Barry Sheen, world-class motorcyclist. Finally, one especially for you, the man sawing his wooden leg off.
Star Trek, right? Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, 2 security men and a sex goddess beam down to a planet. If I was a security man, I wouldn't go. You're going to get it in the neck in the first 5 minutes, guaranteed! Before you know what's happening, Dr. McCoy is leaning over you. He's dead, Jim. And what's Mr. Spock doing? Camera 3. He's got a cassette recorder out. No life forms on this planet, Captain. Doesn't take into account you've just been mutilated by a psychopathic blancmange. Seems very much a life form to you at the time. But, of course, Captain Kirk does not give a monkey's about the security men. He's too busy trying to get the knickers off the sex goddess.
Yes, indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Now you're going to dig it, ladies and gentlemen. Every Friday morning, I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do for the topic on material? What am I going to do for the topic on material? What am I going to do for the topic on material? Come Friday night, I'm thinking, who needs material? I'll go on here, I'll make a funny noise. Those baskets won't notice. I think, oh no, and I start off making a noise like a guy. And then there's the times. And my voice becomes sort of it's such a slow, slippery slide down into mock emotion. And I begin to sound a little bit like the bulldog in Tom and Jerry. That's my boy. Me and you's gonna make a barbecue. And then it goes up again, my voice goes up, Officer Stewart, Department of Trade and Industry, Government, Shadow Chancellor, elections. Oh, bit of politics there, yeah, you've been really good. My name's been out, good night.
And of course, on board the Enterprise, the Scottish member of the crew, the Scottish member of the crew is having his own problems. It's the dilithium crystals, Mr. Spock. It's the dilithium crystals, Mr. Spock. They just can't handle it. Mr. Scott, you ethnic prick. Why don't you fire your phaser at the dilithium crystal and fire it? Why don't you point your phaser at the dilithium crystal and fire it? Or fire it and point it, whatever you like, really. Illogical. Never mind. Mr. Scott, you ethnic prick. Why don't you point your phaser at the dilithium crystal and fire it? My ears are killing me. The energy from your phaser will revitalize the dilithium crystals. It's a crazy idea, Mr. Spock. But it just might work. Too right, it'll work. It works in every episode.
Try and find a British wartime movie that hasn't got Richard Attenborough in it. Seriously, I bet you can't. He was in every... I think he played a seagull once. You know, but he's always there. You get these two guys on the deck of the destroyer, and one says to the other, "How's everything going, number two?" I'd be really annoyed if somebody called me a number 2, wouldn't you? I don't know. It's just the Navy for you, isn't it? How's everything going, number 2? OK, sir, but one thing is bothering me, though. What's that? Well, this film's been going for 45 minutes now, sir, and no sign of Dickie Attenborough. Then he pops out from behind a foghorn. Cut the cocoa, sir. Mind you, speaking of subtitles, I find the average British audience needs subtitles for those 40s war films. Because you can't understand I can't understand what's being said. You get Noel Coward as the captain of the ship. And I thought, oh, aye, sir. What did he say? I don't know. Everybody up the pointy end.
I think Brian Glover, he's not very well known, but I think Brian Glover would make an excellent arch-enemy for James Bond. Because for too long, we've had these vaguely Scandinavian types. They're all rather boring, because it's always the same old thing. Ah, Mr. Bond, we meet again. Sit down, have some Dom Perignon 1963.
You're Tracy Blofeld. Your plan to take over the world will never succeed. Absolutely mad.
It would be far better if we had Brian Glover. Then it'd be a case of...
You know, Blofeld, your plan to take over the world will fail.
Wrong, Mr. Bond. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day the whole world will be one enormous leisure theme park like Fontaine's. With stout on tap. Darts all day and game for a laugh reruns on video.
It'll never work.
Wrong, Mr. Bond. Behind me you can see my enormous stout distillery. With a monorail round the outside for no reason. I've had enough of your rumblings, Mr. Bond. I'm going to hand you over to my 2 light entertainment heavies. Tarbuck, Monkhouse, take him to the wheel of misfortune.
No, anything but that, please, please.
Hi, and welcome to Bob's Full House of Torture. And on today's show, we're going to spin the wheel. Get the question right, you win 2 weeks in Pontins with Pussy Galore. Get the question wrong, you win 2 weeks locked up in a room with Keith Chegwin. I didn't mean that. He's a wonderful guy. I love him so much. I'm so sincere. Oh, yes. And now over to Jimmy, who's going to take over the show.
Oh, very funny man. Yes, indeed. Great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Great, very funny man. Next act on tonight's a great friend of mine. He's very funny indeed. Well, he's not funny, but he's right-wing and he plays golf, so give a big warm welcome to Mr. Ian Paisley. Come on down, Ian. Knock him dead, mate.
Good evening! Did you hear the one about the Irish Catholic who was burnt at the stake for heresy? He died! Ho, 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 ho!
I think one of the greatest impressionists of all time is Johnny Morris. Now, Charlie the chimpanzee hasn't been feeling very well lately, have you, Charlie?
No, I haven't, Johnny.
Now, why is that, Charlie?
Well, you should know. After all, I'm you.
Oh. Now, when I went to say goodnight to Hooter the elephant, I said, well, good night, Hooter. Have you had a memorable day? And Hooter just looked at me for a long time before saying anything, and then shat all over the floor.
And there'll be more stand-up comics at the same time next Thursday night time.
Know about the Hitler diaries?
It was going to be the publishing sensation of the century.
I've offered him 2 million marks.
Jeez!
God, we've opened a Pandora's box.
I'd say we've struck a rich vein of gold.
Newsweek is offering $3 million. knows where the bid'll be by 5, eh?
Through the roof, I suspect.
The drawback is the diaries are forged. The first edition of Selling Hitler. Soon.
Still to come this morning, this week's American Top 10 and Video Fashions look at the current crop of sexy gear coming out of the States. But before that, an extra programme, a phenomena.